Hey everyone, we're still doing this. Carter, believe it or not, is an even busier person than I am. He has pressures of work that are on like 11 out of 10 right now. So I'm going to handle the second part of this. And then on the show, we will talk about the most recent episodes. So this is going to be covering title above Spooky Little Girl, which is the 9th episode of American Horror Story. I've done away with that microphone I have plugged in because many of you were commenting that it was really quiet, and you're right. And I don't know if it's related to my computer being reformatted. I've been noticing that problem myself in my videos, and I can't figure out how to boost the video or boost the sound recording directly to this. And I don't want to have to edit this and then I don't want to do multiple stages, so I just got rid of the mic for now. I'll figure it out later. So apologies for the washy sound that happens with this webcam. So, in this episode, we learn, first of all, about another murder and another tenant of the house. It seems like they just want to keep adding ghosts that have never shown up before, which is fine, I guess. It just seems weird that they can get away with every week just adding like, oh, by the way, these other 15 people also died in the house, and now they're here. So in 1947, which... that's enough time. The Montgomerys lived in the house in the 20s, so there must be at least one tenant between the Montgomerys and this guy. I'm thinking about that for the future. There's got to be someone in the 30s. So this guy is played by Josh Malina, who, if you're a West Wing fan, it's fantastic to see him. I loved his character on the West Wing, and I follow him on Twitter, and I've actually talked to him a few times. So this is especially bizarre. Josh Malina is a dentist who operates out of the house, and an underworked actress comes in to get the stuff done, and she is under the impression, she's talked to her girlfriends who have also come for work there, that if they don't have money, he can find another way to extract payment from them. So cut to her body being used by the dentist for bad things while she's under the influence of the narcotic, whatever it is, the anesthesia. And when he tries to rouse her afterwards, it would appear that she's freaking dead. She died, or she's completely out, like will not respond. So he drags her down to the basement, because that's what you do. Couldn't he have? Wouldn't you have just called the cops? Unless he had done this kind of thing before. He could have just called the cops. She was out. She didn't know what happened to her. Could have just been like, allergic reaction to anesthesia. Anyway, obviously, what does it freaking matter? What does it matter? This is not the real world. He drags her down to the basement, and Dr. Montgomery shows up, and he doesn't seem surprised to see Dr. Montgomery there. He's not like, whoa, ghost! Or anything. He's just like, oh, yeah, that mad scientist who lives in the basement. So Dr. Montgomery offers to help him take care of it. So he does to her what whoever the Black Dahlia murderer is in real Hollywood history. He performs that to her, and she is Elizabeth Short. She is the Black Dahlia girl. And if you don't know what that is a real murder that happened in LA in 1947. The details that they use in the show are absolutely correct. It even shows her body being found by a woman and a daughter, which I read online is exactly what happened. It was a woman and her 5-year-old daughter. So they pulled that urban legend of the Black Dahlia right into American Horror Story, which is cool because I don't know how many showbiz related LA murders they have at their disposal, but it's nice to be able to work in some. So then we go back to the present time. 2 detectives show up to try. They're on the trail of Hayden. Hayden left Boston, told her sister she was going to LA to track down Ben and like force him to have the baby with her, whatever. And her sister has reported her missing because she's been so out of contact because she's freaking dead. And the detectives show up with her sister, and they're all like, you were the last one, blah, blah, blah. Where is she? And it takes her about 5 seconds to show up, and she's just like there, and she's like, what's the big deal? And then she's like, I didn't think you cared about me, sis. And she gives like her sister this real guilt trip all of a sudden, which is pretty cool because it kind of answers the question and gets rid of her. She's like mad at her sister, so that's why she hasn't been communicating with her. So she shows up, and then after the detectives leave, she does tell Ben that he doesn't have to worry about the baby. She did have the abortion, which of course she didn't. She's freaking dead, but he doesn't know that, so he just accepts that she's not going to have a child. That's a worry off his mind. At least I think it would be for me. Elizabeth Short, the murdered girl from 1947, shows up in the house, and Ben assumes that she wants an appointment because she's distraught. So he tells her that she needs an appointment, and he schedules her for the next day. Their talking is interrupted by the doctor from the hospital who looked at Vivian's ultrasound or test results or whatever, and she tells him that the twins, well, funny thing about the twins is, and I tried to explain this to Carter earlier, and Carter was like, that can't happen. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Very unusual. I mean, it requires certain things to happen that are themselves unusual circumstances, but the twins do not have the same father. One is Ben's, and one is someone else's. And we know, the audience is aware, that it is whoever was in the leather suit, which I think we either also already know this by this time, or we find out this episode. Did we already know this? That the person in the leather suit, at least on this occasion, because it seems to change, is Tate. And I'm still kind of confused about why it's Tate. I'm confused why he did it, mostly. Because, I don't know. I'm confused about why he did it. So Carter, you and I should talk about that. I don't know why Tate did it. Okay, so there's that. The twins are not the same father. Elizabeth is going to come back for an appointment. Constance and Travis, her little boy toy, her young man who she's sleeping with because he's not too bright or something, they have a big fight. She accuses him of sleeping with Addie, or like taking advantage of Addie, which is weird because I don't think that was what he was into. So he's all mad and he leaves, which Hayden swoops in and takes advantage of because she wants, she's all about manipulating people, which is why she's one of my favorite characters already since her death. And so she bangs Travis and tries to like kind of talk him up to, she wants to use him as a tool to help her with her situation. Moira talks to Constance and informs her that Tate is the father of the other child. So Constance goes to Tate and tells Tate that basically the reason that he is seeing Ben is because Constance believes that he will be able to be released from this plane if he, resolves whatever it is inside him that has kept him here, which I don't really understand exactly because it seems like everyone who dies on the property is just stuck on the property. I don't know how people move on, but apparently she thinks Tate could move on, but not if he's having the baby of the guy who would help him move on. So she's mad at Tate, obviously. I mean, I would be mad. Ben believes that Vivian cheated on her, and not only that he cheated on her, but that she did it with that security guard, who they obviously had chemistry, but as far as we know, they have not done anything. And if what Ben thinks is true were true, it would have meant that they had met way before the security system was even installed, and they had worked out this little conspiracy among themselves to continue the affair going, which is if that is what Ben believed, that's why he was really, really angry. So he calls Luke, or he summons him by setting off the alarm. Luke shows up and he just tells him outright, Vivian's pregnant with twins, one of them is not mine, and I know it was you, and you were hooking up this whole time, blah, blah, blah. And Luke is like, well, you freaking idiot, I'm sterile, just ask my ex-wife, so you can shove it. I had nothing to do with this. And Ben's like, oh, I'm an idiot. And he is. He's kind of an idiot. Ben walks in on Moira and Elizabeth. And of course, Elizabeth is still short on cash. It's been 50 years and 60 years. She hasn't found a job. So the way that she's going to pay for her services this time is by getting all sexy with Moira, which, as a heterosexual young man, I gotta say that was one of the more rewarding scenes so far. Thank you, Ryan Murphy and Brad Felchuk, for imagining that for me, and I didn't have to do it for myself. And Ben is like, what the frick are you doing? Get out! Which is the appropriate reaction. Thank you, Ben, for having a rational, explainable reaction. So he freaks out, he tells Elizabeth to get out, and he tells Moira she's freaking fired. And Moira has this little, oh no, I'm skipping ahead. Okay, I'll get there in a second. Elizabeth is all upset that she's not going to get treated by the doctor, and Hayden comforts her, and Elizabeth is like, well, now how will I ever get famous? And Hayden is like, you're Elizabeth Short. And she's like, okay, how am I ever going to get famous? And she's like, no, you don't understand. You are very famous. You are the Black Dahlia. And she explains the entire sequence to her, which apparently in the 60 years of her haunting this house, no one has ever bothered to do, not even another ghost. We learn along the way, like, which ghosts know that they're ghosts and are aware and are fine with it or aren't dealing with it, or which ones don't know that they're ghosts. Nora didn't... Is Nora completely aware that she's dead now? Because it seems like she only learned that, like, a week ago, and she's been dead for 80 years. It just seems strange to me that all of them are being told that they're ghosts just now, like, while we're watching, and that's never happened before. Okay. So Hayden comforts Elizabeth, Black Dahlia thing. Constance tries to make up with Travis and tells him that they should get freaking married and that they're going to have a baby because she thinks when the baby's born, I don't know how she thinks. This is like Glee. Like, I never understand how the characters on Glee think that the baby is just like up for grabs when someone loses it. Like, oh, now I can have it. I guess she thinks when Vivian gives birth that the one baby that is Tate's should be raised by her and Travis. And Travis is like, whoa, man, I'm not a dad. And so he takes off. He's all angry still. And he goes back to Hayden to complain about that B word some more because it worked out pretty well for him the last time. And Hayden bangs him, and then she kills him. So now Travis is dead, and he's a ghost on the property. So it occurred to me at this point that any ghost who performs a murder on the property, which it seems like a lot of them do, creates more ghosts. Like, it's impossible for them not to. Because unless they just injure the person and the person gets away and then dies, they're going to die on the property and then they're going to be a ghost. Oh, I'm going really long on this one, aren't I? Sorry. I'm almost as long as the actual show itself. So Larry's dead. Dr. Montgomery does his thing, turns him into the boy Dahlia, which I like, but I don't think we find that out till next time. We know that he looks like that. We don't know the title, Boy Dahlia, but that was nice. And then Larry, Constance's former lover, the guy with the Bernie face, takes care of the body, and the body's discovered by some basketball players. Elizabeth assures Travis's ghost that he may yet find fame like her. I think he does. He's going to. Constance goes to visit Vivian and lets her know that she's, she's there for her, even though she's not. And Vivian tells her that, yes, indeed, she was raped by the rubber man, but she's going to just start lying about it at this point because she knows that she's not crazy, which is why she's able to lie in order to get out. So she's going to lie and start taking back what she said, and it was just a hallucination and whatever, and she's going to get discharged from the mental ward. This is the point where Ben confronts Luke. I skipped ahead on that. And then when Ben talks to Moira, he finds the rubber mask again, and he asks her, he's like, you see everything in this house. You know everything that goes on. What is this? Where is this from? Why? Blah, blah, blah. I believe my wife. She was attacked. And Moira, for the first time ever for him, turns off the seductive mode steps back and looks at him different. And I knew at this moment what was about to happen. And she says something to him like, seems like you're really beginning to see what's going on around here. And as she walks away, she turns into the old woman, the age that she actually is. And Ben sees it. So it's very clear that seeing her as young or old is dependent on, I guess, allowing yourself to believe and thinking the truth. And he's starting to come to terms with the things that are going on in the house, and I think the next step is accepting that there are ghosts. And there's a lot to go along with that happens in the next episode that I watched last night. No spoilers. Moira congratulates him for finally stating the truth, or seeing the truth. Sarah Paulson shows back up. She's the medium. She's having tea with Constance, and her name is Billy Dean. I couldn't remember. And Constance asks her, like, is it possible for a ghost, ghost sperm, ghost dad, ghost sperm to knock up a real woman? And she tells her, well, funny you should mention that. In case you didn't know, there's a piece of paper that only the popes can read when they are made pope, and it says on it how the apocalypse comes about, and it has to do with a ghost, or with a child born of demon and man. So like of spirit and man. It's a perversion of the Immaculate Conception. Which makes sense, but it was a really kind of cheesy way of going about it, and then they had to cut to the Vatican and show the Pope, like, it's like, okay, come on. But so it's very clear that they're really focusing in on this Antichrist thing, which is actually why I made the joke on Professor Martin that fooled a bunch of people into thinking that I have a kid now. I don't have a kid, guys. You would have known about that a long time out, trust me. So that's basically the entire episode. I'm sorry this one took me even longer. I guess there was more to digest. The next episode is called Smoldering Children. It aired 2 days ago, so if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out. We will be talking about that on Shawn and Carter Have a Podcast this week. I think we will also be covering The Big Lebowski, the Coen Brothers movie. So if you have a chance to watch that, that is on streaming Netflix, so if you have that at your disposal, it's free and easy to do. And that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Click!